What are the Seekers?
Yeah, that's the
Welcome to the Seeker, the yellow core set card reviews for Arkham Horror, the card game. We're going to start with Magnifying last. 1 resource, commits for a book if you need it. Fast. You get +1 book while investigating. Costs 1 hand.
That's a solid card.
Yeah.
Card's okay. Like Beat Cop, the upgraded version is much better.
Yes.
For most of my yellow decks, I start off with 2 of this card, and then after the first scenario, I cut one of them for something else and cut the other one for one of the experience versions.
Yeah, if what you plan to do is investigate,
Yeah.
making things bigger is better.
Yeah, it's not special. It's nothing special, but it's just good.
I think this is also the first instance we have a fast in our reviews.
Yeah.
Fast is great because it doesn't cost an action to use.
And you can play it in combat, which is not really important for this card. But if you play it well engaged with an enemy, they will not attack you for it, which is
Something.
often a big deal.
Yeah. Old Book of Lore. 3 resources, commits for a brain as an action. Exhaust Old Book of Lore. Choose and investigate your location. That investigator searches the top 3 cards of his or her deck for a card, draws it, and shuffles the remaining cards into his or her deck.
I consider this card a staple for Daisy Walker decks. It's obviously intended to be used with her, and I think it's just subpar for other Seekers, though.
Yeah.
At least the ones we've
Like
seen.
you can use it to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you have your weakness there, just put it on the bottom of your deck.
But it
shuffle
costs
it back.
3 money to put in play. It
does.
doesn't commit for useful things. It doesn't find clues. It's just card selection.
It just means that every time you draw, it's much better.
It's the reason, like, on its own, I think it's a very meh card. It's not bad,
Okay.
but it's meh. But, like, with Wendy, the fact that you
Or with
can...
Daisy. The ability
Daisy,
to
yeah.
do it for free.
You get to do it for free
Yes.
every turn is ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, it's going
not
into
even
what
just
Travis
you.
said in our Guardian reviews. It's 2 actions to do it once, right? But with Daisy, it's pay 3 and then you can do it forever as a free action.
It is also a tome, which makes it much easier to find out of your deck,
Yeah.
so you aren't reliant on drawing or mulliganing to it. That being said, I would never mulligan to this card.
No.
If I'm playing, like, Daisy, I hard mulligan for this card. It's that good.
Yeah, with
Okay.
Daisy's
then it doesn't
Daisy's
matter-
the book girl though,
Then,
so
yeah,
like she.
it doesn't matter what else your team is hard mulliganing for, because you can find it
It also is very beneficial because you can do it to any player.
at your location.
Yeah.
But yes.
So.
It's like, I think it's like one of the reasons that Daisy is like the premier. So Minty Fan might be better now, but for core set for sure, Daisy's the premier support character.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's the one you want like following around and like not necessarily doing things, but like just helping the other investigators do things.
I've played both of them, and Min is definitely the better support. Daisy, because Daisy can do things on her own. She can get good enough that she can just investigate anything.
She also has purple as her secondary color, so she can like actually do things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Two resources, commits for a foot. After research, the librarian enters play. Search your deck for a tome. Add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. 1 and 1.
If I'm being honest, I haven't played Daisy since like it was just core set. But nowadays, I would probably be only playing 1 book of lore and like 2 copies of Research Librarian.
Yeah.
With all the other card draw that Yellow has, and just
There's also
this guy's great because like this gets into other card game theory that we know a lot of about Magic. Is that it enables you to run lots of one-ofs that have niche uses, because this guy effectively counts as 2 extra copies of all your other one-ofs.
Yeah, like a toolbox.
Yeah.
With books.
and
A
there's
book
also
box,
like
if
now
you will.
on it like this guy gets better as the more books get released because there's already like even like Old Book of Lore is good, but there's also
Like the medical texts and like
Medical text is one. Encyclopedia is one.
Encyclopedia is
Yeah.
very good, and like that's like his
more-
ability
yeah.
to just what Travis was saying. This guy's more important in a way for quantity than your books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you can find whichever book you need right now, or
And he
whatever
can-
book is good for this encounter.
He can tank a hit if you ever need it, and then like his sole purpose is to bring you a book and then
then
get
die.
carried away by a night god, right? So
They really haven't played that many books.
No, it's probably to nerf this guy because he's too strong.
This man who knows.
This man who knows where to find books. He's too good.
yeah.
Don't be fooled by his expensive exterior.
You get +1 book after you
doesn't
successfully
cost anything.
Did you say
investigate.
expensive or expansive?
Pick one.
After you successfully
they're
investigate,
both accurate.
gain 1 resource. So I've played 2 yellow decks in our campaigns.
Yep.
Never played with him.
He's quite good.
He seems good, but like
He's in one of those cards. He's like kind of like not quite base tier B cop. I think he's more akin to the 45 from the
Yeah.
Guardian review. He's good, just not great.
Because to me, with yellow, because of higher education and what it's warped yellow to be, to me, yellow is less.
Oh yeah. Like if higher education doesn't exist or you don't have access to it because maybe you're playing with just core set cards, this guy's very good.
Yes, yeah, but like it's more about cards than resources to yellow. At least in the way that I've played it.
Well, a good way to look at this guy is he is just like a free +1.
Yeah, he effective like if you have him in play for 2 turns, he effectively costs nothing.
And just think of how unstoppable that is true. And just think of how unstoppable he would be with 2 magnifying glasses and him going around solving mysteries.
He's also very, very strong as a splash card for some of the red decks.
Yeah, definitely.
And the red decks and the green decks with like pickpocketing and that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially I see that with green.
And burglary. And
Yeah, because
burglary gets you 4 resources with this guy.
Yeah. That's
So,
better. That's better
again,
than
that's
an
a very-
emergency cash.
Yeah, that is. And it doesn't cost you a card, kind of.
And I mean, like
Burglary with this guy just pays for him. You just have
he is-
+1 book.
he is weak as shit on the strength side.
I mean, like, look at him.
Yeah. So like he could he could suddenly die, but maybe I'll try him out one day and see the thoughts on him.
Why is he wearing a bow tie with his lab?
Because he's a professor, and if he wasn't wearing a bow tie, how would you know?
Exactly. All right, so the bulk of what we talked about for these kind of cards you can find in our Guardian video. So we're not going to like...
We should probably preface our other videos by saying you should go look at the Guardian one first.
Yeah. But with this one, it kind of follows the same principle of...
We can just look at how valuable the stats are for the class.
Again, I think with this card, if you have access to higher education, don't play it.
This card is actually exceptionally
However,
worse than the other ones because of higher education.
Yeah, if you are playing with just core set, being able to spend money to get better at investigating is very strong, and it's very strong with Dr. Milan Christopher, the last card we just reviewed.
And then also like the foot and the brain.
Yeah.
Actually, the foot and the book are...
They're fine.
They're stats that, especially foot, that you could just get screwed over by if it's not good enough.
I mean, like, if higher education didn't exist, this one I think is actually might be one of the better ones, especially considering what the core set challenges you with on the Mythos cards. Like, yellow characters are garbage at foot. This shores up your weakness and exaggerates your strength.
Yeah,
so, it also means that you can get away from monsters. You don't have to sit there and be like, Roland, come save me. And Roland's like, no, I've got other things to do. And you're like, well, I'm going to die then. I have no way out.
Yeah.
This card gives you a way out.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but in the world of higher education,
it is.
It's not good.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move on next turn. We're going to talk about these like 3 other times, so basically the same card like 3 other times.
2 commits for a fist, medical text. As an action, choose investigate location and test. Brain 2. If you succeed, heal 1 damage to that investigator. If you fail, deal 1 damage to that investigator. So we weren't too hot on first aid.
No.
And this one's like
Hot garbage.
monumentally worse than first aid.
So what this card has going for it is that the research librarian can find it.
Yep.
And you can use it forever. However, if you're trying to heal somebody for 1 damage, dealing 1 damage to them might kill them. So
on the other hand, like it is only a book 2 test. I would legitimately consider this as a 1 of in a Wendy deck. Not Wendy.
Daisy.
Daisy. I was those two mixed
because
up.
it's a tone.
And I definitely agree with that.
Like it might not make the cut. It would realistically probably one of the first cards cut as like other characters get better ways to sustain them. But it's not awful, but it's very, very niche.
Yeah, like pretty much the only thing this card has going for it is the fact that it is a tome.
Yeah.
The only reason I consider it in the Daisy deck is because you can use it every turn for free.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and that's
it does
it's
also
too
not
slow.
have
it's a book.
resources. So like it has indefinite
you can-
uses.
But like,
can use it forever.
in this game, how bad does it feel to spend an action to hurt somebody else?
Really
you would
bad.
know you shot me with a gun 3 times.
That felt pretty good. But
But like, it's really bad with this one because, like what you said, Bryn, you could kill somebody that you're trying to save.
This card does have some notable synergies. Like when you're on higher difficulties and drawing chits isn't really reasonable, as Roland, you can spend your turn, you can exhaust your beat cop, deal 1 damage, then like use this to... Oh no, this doesn't even heal thing. Never mind.
No, it
This
only
is
heals
garbage.
investigators. The core set things only
Never
heal
mind, it's
investigators.
garbage.
This card is not great. It discards
Next
for a
card,
fist,
please.
which is almost completely irrelevant.
Yes.
If you're playing yellow.
Yeah.
+1 fist will not make you good.
This card, this is the first evidence of Fantasy Flight's incredible bias that has permeated all their other games.
Yeah, here we go.
Towards the
And
color yellow.
Yeah, and that yellow has to be the best.
Mine never matter. One cost commits for foot and fist. Fast. Play only during your turn. Until the end of the round, you may use your book in place of your foot and fist.
This card's fallen off as we've got more cards for the color, but like for Corset, this card's insane. It's like, what's yellow bad at? Fighting things and run away?
Fighting
Like,
things
what if
running
you
away,
were great at that?
doing everything that doesn't involve a book.
And it costs 1 and it's fast.
Yeah.
So like even if it was like
Like you can't use this during the Mythos phase, but like you can fight things good, you can run away from things good, you can like break down locked doors or whatever you need to do. Who cares?
This card is very strong. In Corset Yellow, this is an auto-include.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's pretty-
Outside of Corset Yellow, it's still pretty good.
I've also I will
I
say
consider it.
in
It's not necessarily a card you want, but you might want it.
and especially when you have more players, I feel like this card actually gets a lot worse because
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Like the less players you have, the better it is.
Because this was actually one of the when we were doing our Daisy Walker through Dunwich Legacy. I had those just in my hand dead the majority of the game because
You know what this card's really good with?
which
Higher education.
yes, definitely. I mean, what isn't good with higher education though, right?
Not having cards in hand.
It's true.
I guess.
Like not having resources.
Working a hunch.
This card's fine.
2 resources, commits for 2 books, fast, play only during your turn, discover one clue at your location.
Don't have too much to say. Commits for 2 book. Gets better the higher difficulty is because you don't have to make a test to get your clue.
Yeah.
It's is also very good if you're playing like Roland or somebody else who gets to play yellow cards who doesn't have a very high book score because you can just discover a clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's fine.
No, it does the job required.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything.
Anytime a card commits
No, I don't
for
have much to say about
There's
this one.
not much else to say about
anytime
this
a
guy.
card commits for 2 of the same,
Yeah, that is
icon,
good.
it's pretty okay.
Yeah.
Like worst case is you're throwing away to make somebody good at a thing for a
Especially if
while.
that's something you need to be good at.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Barricade commits for 3 symbols: brain, book, and foot. 0 resources. Attach to your location. Non-elite enemies cannot move into attached locations. When investigator leaves attached location, discard Barricade. I feel like this card is best when you're playing by yourself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is a card that I think we've underplayed. I think we undervalued a bit when we're building our deck. It's definitely better than it looks, and it's very contingent on the scenario you're playing. There's some scenarios where there's like a location just has a billion clues in it, and like if you're a yellow person who just sit their ass down and discover clues and not care about any monsters, like. And just have like your guardian sit in the same room as you and kill anything that spawns on you. Like this card's great.
This card is also very strong against monsters like the Hunting Horror, or what's his name?
It's not good against hunting horror.
Is it not?
No, he's elite.
Oh, he's elite. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
All the
Yeah, he
monsters
is.
I'm concerned about are probably elite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's a frequent complaint you're gonna hear.
Yeah, okay.
The elite monsters are the ones we care about. But I mean, like
It discards for 3 different symbols, which
this card's
doesn't
not
suck.
good, but I think this card actually is really good Minty fan.
Oh yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
Just
then
'cause
it
the
discards-
flexibility.
It discards for two of any one of those 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you should be playing this.
Maybe. I mean, I definitely feel like it's worth a 1 of in any sort of when you're the support yellow and you need to like
Yep.
not get attacked by monsters.
Side benefit
Yeah.
to this
Honestly,
reviews is we get to look at cards that we just assume were trash.
I mean, I also wish it was fast because I mean
it does also cost 0 though.
that if it costs 1
If
and
it
was
costs 1
fast.
and was fast,
I think I'd actually, for some reason, I'd like it more if it was 1 and fast. But maybe that's just a weird bias coming through. Because I just see too much value in the 0, and I'm like, it should be better.
it's a yellow card. Why isn't it broken?
There's a red card. Do you mind just flip to the red? It's
Yes, I
very
do.
similar.
hiding place.
Yeah. I don't think it's in core.
Yeah, you like attach it to a location and monsters can't see you there.
Yeah, I feel like that one, I remember liking that one,
was
so I
good,
should
yeah.
probably, I think, agree with Travis, like Barricade more. Maybe this is one that we'll have to try out and see what happens.
I have to do more testing than the 0 we've done.
Yeah. And it is, committing for 3 resources, 3 symbols is great because then it's not a dead card. You can use it in...
You can use it almost any time, and the best part is one of the symbols is not fist.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that no matter how much you add, like you have to add like 4 before you start to get good at it as a yellow guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then you're doing like 1 damage.
Deduction commits for 1 book. If a skill test is successful while investigating a location, discover 1 additional clue at that location.
This card is like yellow vicious blow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
It
the
saves-
upgraded...
it saves
It's
you
not
in
quite
action.
as good, but it's good.
No, killing a monster in 1 go instead of 2 is probably more valuable.
Yes. Yeah.
than getting 2 clues instead of 1.
Somewhat ironically, this card is worse in Rex.
Because
it
getting
only
3,
saves you half an action.
It does
instead of
only
full
save you
action.
half an action. 3 instead of 2 is much worse than 2 instead of 1.
Yeah. That being said, it does let you clear out locations that have 3 clues on them with 1 action, which is just like...
Yeah, like still would play the card.
Yeah.
But
Rex needs more support. Fancy play, please.
Didn't you say he's one of the best?
I'm like the best.
Yeah.
he's not one of the best.
He's got the Rex tier.
He is
Yeah.
like the best.
Magnifying Glass, level 1. Fast, you get +1 book while investigating. If there are no clues in your location, return it to your hand. Now I wonder what you're thinking. Why on earth would I want to return this to my hand? Well,
Because it costs a hand.
costs a hand, and also, you know, if you ever need to get to that higher education threshold, it's a great way of doing it. You could just be like...
For those wondering, higher education does not appear in the core set.
I'll probably put it like...
will not find
I'll
it.
probably put it like just below me, just so whenever we talk about it, so it's like, you know, here's the higher education bubble. But yeah, it's just it's a better version of. I also like Magnifying Glass more than Travis does, because you level them out pretty quickly. You were saying.
Well, like once
Like
you have,
I put 2 in my starting deck,
Yeah.
and then I take them both out, put 1 of these in, and then like have an extra slot for another card. That's
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because this one, like, generally it's yellow card. Finding the cards you need is an issue. You have
Yes.
so much card draw, and then this one, like, it's just always there.
Yeah.
And like, it's nice to have like the +1s there, but like, if you have to discard to ram garbage, you're not missing it too much. It's not
Yeah.
like crippling to your game plan. You don't need a second copy.
Yeah.
It's nice to have, and it's basically free.
yeah, and as it only commits for 1 book symbol, you don't ever want to be stuck with one you can't use.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I would consider this a staple for yellow decks.
Yeah, I like it enough. I usually run 2 just because I like.
You could,
Not that I'm not worried about like.
dual wield for extra
That's exactly
magnification.
why. I just feel like it. I did it with Daisy. I haven't done it with Min because
Yeah,
Daisy
seriously.
holds all of her books in her book bag. So it's to me like if you're not worried about your hand slots, I would run 2. But I also agree with Travis. It's not about consistency of getting it because yellow can do whatever it wants and people just listens to it.
The big strength of this one is the flexibility.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and like worst case with it is you play it out and you don't want to use it and there are clues at your location and you need that hand slot and you play something else and discard it and all you've done is discard a card.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
Commits-
going to be honest, I didn't know this was a card.
This card's actually insane.
It's actually one of the. I was looking through the cards and I was like, I think this
Really
card
good.
is really good.
We don't need it so much because, like, again,
have
with 3
three
players,
pulls,
it
yeah.
becomes
Yeah,
more.
okay.
The less players you have, and like the higher the difficulty you're on, the better this card is.
Yeah.
Because like if you're yellow, you can't fight. You just get to throw a monster away. Who
Yeah.
cares? It's so good.
It seems very good.
It does.
Occupies the accessory slot, which is like.
The least used slot.
Yeah, and
Yep.
and is discarded on use. So
I mean, that kind of stuff costs 3, but it's just like.
no, like it's like the
I mean,
it's
like,
like the police
You also
badge,
don't
right?
have to use it. If it's like a rat that spawns, you're not wasting your 3 resources.
Yeah, if it was a
Like, I'll
forced
just-
reaction,
I'll
that
just,
would
like,
suck
punch
dick.
the rats.
Yeah. But like, even then, I would gladly spend 3 resources and an action at the same time to kill a monster. If that card just said spend 3 resources and action to kill a monster, yes, please. And it also like a big thing. Like
Well, it would have to be like. You'd also have to say it doesn't trigger attacks of opportunity.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. Like what the game gets you through the ways of the chit bag and the mythos deck. And this essentially says you can't surprise me with something I can't deal with, right? Which is the key to survival in a game like this.
No, the big thing this card offers is consistency, and that it always does the same thing. You don't have to worry about what the game's doing.
Yeah. I've noted it does say non-elite enemy, so once again.
Yeah, so you can't
The
discard
hunting
dog
horror.
Salthoff.
Yeah. Yeah, Salthoff appears. See you later. Nice
I, mean,
try.
I don't mind that so much.
I
of this
agree, I
card
agree. No,
Because of
it's-
how insanely powerful.
I
this
also
card is.
feel like cards that get rid of elite enemies need to be very
Well, like,
carefully costed because they serve as the bosses.
If we get like 5
yeah,
if we get,
upgraded,
like-
I'll see you in hell.
upgrade, I see now like 5 experience,
kills
and then
elite.
like destroy all non-massive monsters.
Yeah.
So like it still wouldn't get like
Like
knocked off.
Salthoff, yeah.
Man, that could be sweet.
That would
Card
be
would
good.
be
That
sick.
would be a good card.
You'd be
I'm not
sitting
sure
there,
how
you'd
good
be
it'd
like,
be for 5 experience, but it'd be so cool.
we're at the end of the game. You guys don't need me anymore.
Yeah.
I'll just kill everyone.
Yeah.
Fix the
Even
thing.
if you don't need everyone anymore, like you go into like the second scenario for Carcosa with like the party guests, and you just like let them all flip, and then you just kill them all. You're like, I'll start a new character. It's scenario 2.
Yeah.
This Encyclopedia is very good in the core set.
Yeah.
Because it makes it so that anyone can do the thing you need done.
It's very good in Daisy decks as well.
Yeah, in Daisy decks, this card is an auto. Like, this is probably one of the first cards you want to buy. Like, you want to buy your Magnifying Glass,
Like Encyclopedias.
and you probably want to buy this card. Yeah.
Yellow in the core set's a little bit weird. It supports its investigator a lot more than the other colors do. The other colors are a lot more generalized, whereas a lot of the yellow cards are much more like much more Daisy focused.
Yeah.
I went to say Daisy, and I was like, "That's wrong." It's Wendy, and I was like, "No."
No, wait, that's wrong.
Believe in yourself. The card's great. Like, and then I didn't even ask the question of what's the value of this card in a non-Daisy deck? Is one action in like basically one action to play, and then one action when you need to? Is it worth it to get plus?
Depends which scenario you're facing, really.
It depends what your team is too, and what your yellow person is doing. Like if you have a Lola Hayes or something to either be your flexible support, or she's like your clue giver. If the person with this isn't your main like clue getter,
Yes.
this is a very strong card.
Yeah, but it also like choosing like it's also the value comes with choosing to investigate your location. You can be like, hey Mark, you're gonna really fuck things up today.
Okay,
right?
but like if you shoot him underneath his armor.
Yeah, like I feel like
it'll
there's
be
a
better.
lot of
Fun
value.
synergy. This card with Mark Harrigan on all of them except for like the second highest, the highest difficulty, I think. This card plus shotgun means you're gonna deal 5 damage to whoever's shooting at.
See, like I think there is a lot of like whenever going back to the cards like bandages and medical texts that we were kind of more harsh on the extra action. I feel like this one might warrant it, especially because you're able to use it on another player.
Yeah.
It's obvious a lot of these cards are very balanced around Daisy.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
because they have like if this didn't like this card would be okay without the action, but like on Daisy, if you had like you could just do things. They also have to have the action so Daisy can actually use them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Cryptic research, 0 cost, 4 experience, fast play only during your turn. Choose an investigate your location. That investigator draws 3
this
cards.
is a big flashy yellow card from the core set, and it's actually not that flashy, but it's insanely
It
good.
is very, very strong.
Someone just gets to draw 3 cards. Like the big thing, if it was just you, it wouldn't be worth the 4 experience for sure in yellow. But the fact that like other characters, your location, you can have your, you can just have like your green character or your blue character like go find either like the link pin to their deck, like their Leo DeLuca or their signature item for like Minty Fan or something like that, or you can just like, oh god, we need a weapon.
Yeah.
It helps you find your high experience cards. Like this is definitely isn't something I'd be looking to upgrade first in yellow. There's a lot of cards that are a lot better, but it's
This one
one
is-
of the best experience 6.
When you get like the later in the campaign, when you're like, I don't know what to put in my deck, I'll just make draw 3 cards.
It almost puts higher education online by itself.
Yep. And don't let the times where you draw two of your weaknesses at the same time make you think this card is bad, because that could happen, but it's so small.
That was gonna happen anyway.
Draw 3 cards. First one's your signature weakness. Second one's like the discard your hand weakness. You're like,
Draw 1 card.
Make good game.
Nice strategy.